Hey everybody, I hope this video finds you doing well and free from snow. Hope you all enjoyed the snow this week here at the office, and life is good. This week in Foundations 201 is the topic of the Great Commission. And kind of the end goal of this lesson is to challenge all of us, myself included, to see ourselves as missionaries, and to see that we have opportunities to tell people about Jesus all the time, where we live, work, and play. So the goal is, at the end of the lesson, for us all to think about where we live, where we work, and where we play, and people that we interact with, that we have opportunities to share Jesus with those people. I feel like even in my own life, there are tons of chances that I have that I don't even recognize because my radar is not on. So that's the goal of this lesson, to get our radar on. But to get there, first we talk about the most famous passage with this topic, the Great Commission, in Matthew 28. And again, there's so much that could be said about missions and evangelism. We're just going to touch the surface here. But you'll have people in your class that when they think of missions, they're going to think of home repair and feeding the homeless and kind of mercy ministry. And obviously, that is definitely a part of the Great Commission. That's definitely a part of evangelism and even witnessing, is to meet physical needs that people have. That being said, we're not going to focus on that necessarily with this lesson. We're particularly thinking about the spiritual side of things, people encountering Jesus. So first part's on the Great Commission, and really, if you look at the Great Commission, it's more about making disciples. So obviously, to make disciples, you have to have new converts, and so it's that's the process. You share Jesus with someone, they become a Christian, and then they become a disciple, and you disciple them to eventually they become disciple makers, and that's how the process repeats. So that's kind of the idea behind the first section. And the second section is kind of ties the Great Commission into worship. So this lesson is very intentionally placed in the series right after we've just got done talking about worship. And the quote by John Piper I just think is great, that missions only exist because worship doesn't, and that missions is temporary. Worship is going to be forever. We'll be worshiping in heaven when we meet the Lord, and missions is temporary. And I just think that's a very different but powerful way to phrase this conversation. And so I hope that's challenging, and particularly the aspect of worship being the fuel for missions, and our own zeal and passion for God really driving us to missions, our own excitement for God kind of propelling us to share our own faith. And so really hit on that pretty strongly with your groups. And be honest, share your struggles, share your victories. The more transparent you can be with this issue, the better. And so then the last section, we do kind of transition into, what does this look like for me? How do if I really am a missionary, what does that look like? Where are there opportunities in my own life to share my faith? And I just realized you have people that this might be a totally new concept for them. They've never thought about this. You'll have people that have thought about it, but maybe are scared and have no clue where to even start to talk about with someone about spiritual things. And we're actually going to get that next lesson. We're going to do some actual training with regards to that. So this, just tell people that's coming next session. We're going to train them how to share their faith and write a personal testimony. But again, if we can get to the end of the lesson and people have written down someone where they live, work, and play, 3 names in each of those areas that they can pray for and look for opportunities to engage, that's awesome. And that's my heart, that we'll think that way and look for those opportunities wherever we go. So anyways, I'll be praying for you, and obviously, like I always say, feel free to contact me if you want to bounce some ideas off or think through how to best cater this to your class. And I do want you to do that. You know your class better than I do, and every class is different. So feel free to do whatever you need to do for this lesson that you think will be most impactful for your class. That being said, have a great rest of the week, and we'll see you Sunday.